And welcome to the Steve Malzberg Show. I'm Rick Unger filling in for Steve today. For those of you who don't know me, I come from Forbes Magazine and Sirius XM Radio. Joining us today as my co-host will be the esteemed journalist John Fund, who you know from Newsmax, National Review, The Wall Street Journal, as well as his many best-selling books. John?
Thank you. The new book is Obama's Enforcer Inside the Eric Holder Justice Department, and look what happened.
I'm so glad we got that, and we got to say the name again.
Obama's Enforcer,
All
the
right.
Eric Holder Justice Department.
Now, on to the real business. Joining us now is Congressman Doug Collins. He's from the 9th Congressional District in Georgia, a member of the U.S. House and Oversight and Reform Committee. Congressman, welcome to the Steve Malzberg Show.
I'm glad to be here, Rick. John, it's good to be with y'all.
It's great to have you. Now, you, as a member of the House Oversight Committee, you had an opportunity to participate in the hearings we all watched last week with the now resigned Director of the Secret Service.
I sure did. I had the opportunity to participate in what was a train wreck, and it was a tragedy to the American people to see the Director of the Secret Service, whose main job in life is to protect our president, to protect their family, basically tell us that they had major mess-ups and really didn't want to tell anybody about it. It was just a terrible, terrible day, especially for the Secret Service.
Congressman, we've heard some testimony from people on Capitol Hill that things were better in the Secret Service when they were part of the Treasury Department. They were a small fish, but in a big pond. At the Homeland Security Department, there seems to be more bureaucratic to and fro. Was it a mistake to put the Secret Service in Homeland Security? Should it be moved out of there?
Well, it's beginning to at least appear that way, especially in some of the discussions that we had in testimony, and also really one of the questions that I asked the then director, and now thankfully the former director of the Secret Service, is what were they actually telling the officers on the grounds of the White House? And if that was part of a bureaucratic maze through Homeland Security instead of it being under Treasury, then that needs to change. I think those are the questions. I also serve on the Judiciary Committee, which has primary oversight over the Secret Service. And we're going to be doing more hearings into that, so I think that's going to become a topic that is going to come up here pretty soon.
You know, Congressman, when I started watching the hearings, I have to tell you, I had a different perspective than the way I felt when they were over. I really was wondering why you wouldn't conduct these in secret session. We don't need to know and shouldn't know the things that the Secret Service does to protect the president. I do have to admit, though, that after I heard the director's answers and the way she handled it, I kind of appreciated that we all got to see it. But was there anything scheduled that would have given you more technical answers that you don't want to share with those who might mean the president harm?
Well, we did have a classified briefing after the hearing that we did in public, and I think it was good that the chairman did both of those hearings, because you did get to see, from a very public perspective, nothing classified shared in the open setting, but to see basically what had became incompetence and the lack of control. And again, I can't say this enough. The President of the United States, President Obama, his wife, and his kids deserve to be protected. And we have found major lapse. So I think the public seeing that issue, but then also having the ability to have classified briefings, which none of those protection measures are discussed in public, provides Congress the opportunity to do their proper role, and that is oversight.
So, Congressman, in the short time we have left, I want to give John a chance to ask you a question. What's your take on where we stand with ISIS? It hasn't been, from all appearances, a great week on the ground over there. John, I'll give you a chance to ask the Congressman something.
Well, we continue to have lots of confusion about what the real U.S. strategy is to not only contain ISIS, but to, quote, decimate it, unquote, as the president says. Are you confident that the strategy has been clearly laid out and that you and the American people can understand it?
I think at this point in time, as I said before, I was just glad to see that a few weeks ago it seemed like the president woke up and realized that we had an actual threat in the Middle East. And now coming upon what has been laid out as far as airstrikes, bringing the coalition together, getting Arab countries involved not only with airstrikes but also ground troops as well, it is coming together. I think for anyone who thought that just because we started a process would end it very quickly is just badly mistaken. Being in the Air Force myself and also been in Iraq, that is a hard place to be, and you're dealing with a terrorist organization. So I think it's coming together. Is it there yet? No. Are we comfortable on Capitol Hill yet? No. There's a lot more questions to be asked, but we are making strides to curb what is a very dangerous international terrorist organization.
So, Congressman, in the very short time we have left, I got to ask you for predictions. Do the Republicans take the Senate, yes or no?
Yes.
I had a funny feeling you were going to say that. Very much
How would you
appreciate you
not
joining
think
us. Congressman Doug Collins, we will speak to you again. When we return, we've got the Malzberg panel, and we've got a good one, so you're not going to go anywhere. Stay with us.